Okay, I'm Rikki Simons. I'm the voice of Gur on Invader Zim.
I'm Jhonen Vasquez, and I created Rikki.
Yes. This is my father.
And me. You created me.
I've created. These are all my children.
Hi, I'm Melissa Fahn, and I'm the voice of Gaz on Invader Zim.
Among many things.
I guess I can go next. Unfortunately, the show was cut short. Where would you guys have liked to see, we're doing the entire show, but for you guys, your characters, where would you want to have seen them evolve to?
Have you seen the show? No one
Or
evolves.
should I say devolve to?
Yes, it only gets dumber.
I actually thought Gaz evolved a little bit.
That's actually
movie,
true.
yeah.
In the
Gaz
movie,
did
that's actually true.
from the series to Enter the Florpus, the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah, they seemed a little bit more like a family in the movie.
Yeah.
A little
but
bit.
That's it.
Just a tiny bit.
I had someone come up to me today and she said, "Oh, I grew up with Gaz." And what did she say? She said, "I love goth Gaz. Why did they make her gamer Gaz?"
She's always a gamer.
But I said, yeah, that's what I said. She's always been a gamer.
She just changed her
but-
clothes. People get
Exactly.
weird.
Yeah, they got weird. They were like, she was so goth. I was goth Gaz too. And so, yeah, but people connected. I don't know. I think they are right where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Gur
don't
is
think-
anchored in stupidity.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it'd be weird to imagine. Like, Gur especially didn't change
No.
at all from, like, the series to the movie. Like, he's like, it'd be wrong to make him change. He's just dumb.
He would not have any progression
No.
whatsoever.
No. I like when, like, we were just talking about that. We were talking about, like, what were we talking about? Like, what character changed? Oh, it was Murderbot, I think.
Yeah.
But, like, I like when a character just doesn't learn a lesson. That's why I like Ash from Evil Dead. Like, he doesn't ever become nice. He doesn't become respectful. He's just an asshole. Yeah. There's some places where characters evolving works, but not for Zim. That would kill the show. It would just,
They kind of have to. They have to stay right where they are. No, I get that.
yeah, I mean, there's
get that.
episodes where they literally die at the end of the episodes, and then they're fine the next episode.
Hail to the Zim.
Right?
I can go next. Just being here at this point a few years after Invader Zim and Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, I wanted to kind of get some perspective on where your thinking is looking kind of back on those projects. It seems that we're doing a kind of a looking back in coming to the convention here and talking about some of those projects. Where's your head as you look at those projects?
Johnny's been on my mind a lot more lately just because we've been going in and sort of archiving the old pages because they really were just in like garbage bags in my closet. And every time I'd move, I would just, and they were getting kind of damaged. So we started scanning them, and it's been years since I've actually like read those pages.
Because you don't sell your original pages.
I don't sell the original pages. I just hang on to them. It's all right. I'm looking back, I'm reading it, and I'm like, this is, it's kind of embarrassing stuff sometimes. But it literally is like looking at. I was talking about this yesterday, like looking at high school photos. It literally is me in high school, and then a few years after high school is when I was actually doing them as comics, the books. So it's weird to look back at that stuff. It's kind of crazy to think of that. It's crazy to think that I didn't really have many complaints, going back. I mean, I'm looking through it, I'm just like, ooh, there's some dodgy shit in this book. It's interesting. I don't know that I've got some sort of simple answer for looking back and what it's like. It's looking back at your own life. It's like, oh, I'm ashamed of that. and also, that was pretty cool. There's some good stuff and there's some bad stuff.
I think you have to be kind of embarrassed by your work.
Sure.
For it to be you.
Oh yeah,
make something.
it feels honest.
Like if you
course.
don't, I think if you make something and you're not embarrassed by it, there's kind of something wrong with you.
Not immediately.
Yeah.
I don't want to be embarrassed immediately after
when you
making
come back to
something.
it later.
But it's
Yeah.
revealing. It's like revealing a part of your life and where you were at that time in your life, when you wrote that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a very specific time. As for like Zim was a few years after. That was I don't know. It was weirder working on Zim. I think it was definitely the start of. It was definitely the start of like getting a weirder audience, which is a weird thing to think about, considering going from a book about a homicidal maniac
Exactly.
to a funny show for kids. But we had talked about this on the panel, and I think that's just because it got a much bigger audience, and you get a lot more weirdos.
So outside of paying jobs, or you for payment, what do you do for like a hobby, something that you can just relax your mind? What's a hobby y'all have?
I played Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. No, I've played tabletop RPGs since I was a kid, and now I've been trying to design my own. So I have a bad habit of like taking every single hobby that I enjoy and try to do it myself at some point, like write a novel or make a comic, which was my career before I did Zim stuff. So yeah, there's been a lot of tabletop RPG stuff lately.
What do I do?
What do you do?
Hobbies? I love to cook. I do. I love food. I'm like obsessed with it, and and I love the kitchen, and I love creating, and I love the Zen feeling of that, and it's very relaxing to me. And I love cookbooks, and I love delving into something that you can create other than using my voice or using my face or my body or dance or another way. I like is Jhonen going there and it's my
No, why? I was thinking about cooking. I was thinking nice things.
Oh, good. Okay, good. No, but I do. I love cooking, and I just find it very therapeutic, and I find it very enlightening in a lot of ways. My husband does too, and our son does as
Have
well.
you done
And-
like a cookbook?
No,
Why
but
do you do
I
a
write.
cookbook?
I write down a lot of things that I end up creating. And I had a book filled with all recipes, but I lost them in the fires in Los Angeles. But it's a good impetus to create a new one. Yeah, definitely.
I wish I cooked more. I love cooking. I just
Yeah.
don't. I like just sort of settled on like a handful of things. I
As you can
need to
do.
learn more.
Yeah.
I definitely play way too many video games. Like I love video games. I always have, but it's a problem. I know that it's a problem. I play way too many. I mess around with like music stuff. I can't read music. I wish I should have studied when I was little. But I do love playing with. I like collecting music stuff. I play the drums. I can sit and just with like some headphones on with just like an analog synth and just make noises all night, and I'll just be gone for hours. Just hours. Just I love sound. I love music.
Oh, that's great. You can really get lost in that too.
You can.
Get lost in that
It's-
world for hours and hours. Did you wrote the music? Did you write the Zim, the bow down, the Christmas
The
one?
melody.
The melody.
The melody.
And then did you write the one that we
Chicken and
did
rice.
with chicken and rice?
Yeah, again,
Yes, you wrote
just
chicken
the
and
main
rice.
lyrics.
And then did you write the the song that Andy and I that we did? Did we do it?
In
and
Florpus,
then in Florpus, yeah, we did
the
it.
Skibidi boop boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the extent of like I'll like come up with like I'll be on my iPad and be like I'll just do like a loop, and then I'll hand it off to like a composer and be like turn that into a thing, and that's Kevin. But yeah, I came up with like the little bit,
But
and
I
then
love
Kevin
it.
turns it into like a big thing.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, well, first off, I wanted to say congrats just on Zim taking off. I know that me as a teenager, I just consumed Zim and Johnny and Squee, and I feel sick. So that was...
I don't even know that Zim really took off. Like it crashed and burned. Like
I mean,
like
they still sell merchandise everywhere.
well, that's just it. Like that's what's amazing about it. It's like if we crashed and burned, people just kept walking into the fire, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's like decades later. Like,
to us, it crashed
But
and
there's so
burned.
many people that the fire doesn't go out because it's just being fueled by bodies.
Yes, so true. But like to us,
Isn't
it
that
feels
like-
like,
yeah.
To us, it feels like we crashed and burned. But like that's such a great analogy that
a lot
it,
of the
like the
autographs I
fire.
sign this weekend and every convention is for like really little kids whose parents
Grew
show
up
them,
watching
you know.
it. Yeah.
I think it's like on a third, like there's like a grandpa and a father and a child now, you know, like that.
Did that little girl come up? She was like green striped gloves, little red head.
Yes.
She must have been like, I don't know, 11 or
Yeah.
Just like she looked like a commercial for like a Zim fan. Like this impossibly cute little kid.
Yeah.
And it's
she
just
like just watched and her mom was like she just binge watched the whole series. Like and she's like all
they just
in.
it's like it's so hard for anything to actually go away now. There's always somewhere where you can find it, you know?
So true.
One of the biggest series that's currently running that they've said kind of on the record that you all have been an inspiration for has been Hotel.
Has
Hell
been
of a
Hotel.
Loss.
That's huge in a way that like Zim never could have like reached. That's like
Arguably.
enormous.
Have you all had the chance to like check that out?
Well, yeah, Richard's on it.
Richard
Richard.
Roberts is but I mean, okay, so that's in 2025 or came out in 2024 maybe. But do you think if Zim came out now and had the platforms, you know, and it was just promoted differently and
I don't
think
produced
so.
differently,
I don't
you
think
don't
it-
think it would have?
I think it would have to have had something like Zim behind it for it to be not
for it to go where it is.
kicked, away like it was at the time.
It is really interesting seeing stuff like after all this time that exists because like the people behind it were clearly fans of the thing.
Yes.
I can think of a couple of things, and it's weird. It's just weird, you know. I don't really sit around thinking about like my influence. You know what I mean? Like it's just it never stops being weird. It's nice, but it's spooky to think about how like stuff that you did is part of someone else, you know, because I've got those things in me, like from when I was a kid, things that I love that like influence what I do, and it's weird to be that to other people, you know. I don't like it. It's like, you know, it's like they're stealing my power.
Well, think of it as you're imparting your power on everyone.
I don't want that.
You're sharing it.
To follow up on that, one of the biggest surprises for me was when you voiced Roz's archetype in Psychonauts 2.
Yes.
Because it felt like a return to Invader Zim.
Yes, he just
between
does
you
like
and Richard Horowitz,
Yeah.
who played Roz in that game. Can you talk a bit about how you're brought on board with that game? And was this homage to Invader Zim? Because I assume it was deliberate.
Richard
Is that from the outset?
Richard is Rasputin Raz in Psychonauts 1. And when they did Psychonauts 2, they had this paper doll version of his character that is basically a tool that you send out in the game to do things. And they needed a voice, and Richard just said, "We'll bring in Rikki. Won't just make it sound like her." So we just it has to be strange for you to see.
That was weird.
Yeah,
That was one of the weirdest ones.
Well, I didn't know they wanted me to just do a Gur imitation when I was brought in. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna do this character." I'm like, "Great," and so I see the script because when you do video games, you do them alone, and it's just like a big spreadsheet of dialogue that is just like a lot of it's like ouch, ooh, ah, ee, ah, ooh, and then oh no, look out. And every time I did something, they were like, well, can you do it a little more cuter like you do with Gur? And I'm like, oh,
Can you just
okay.
do Gur?
Yeah. And it was just, can you do Gur? And I love those guys at Fine. They're really wonderful.
That's all like Tim.
Yeah, Tim.
That's just-
he's great.
Yeah.
But then when it came out, they actually pitched it up so that it just sounds like Gur.
That's the thing that I've noticed is, it's nice when someone is a fan of the show and then they're working on their own thing. A lot of the time it's just, fan of Zim, and so they'll hire Kevin to do music. They'll, get the characters as characters in their game or their show. And a lot of the time, the direction just seems to be do Zim.
Yeah.
Which is odd. Again, it's weird stuff. Because to me, all of that is like, that's what I do. That's the kind of thing that I like. That's how I, would direct the voices and like those were the things that I liked about their voices. So to me, it was like all this. It's like it's my personality, and this is the kind of thing. And it's just weird when someone else's direction is do what he wanted you to do. Do the thing. I'm like, fuck you, do your own thing. Tell them to do a different voice. God damn it.
Well, I had an experience like that, and I don't think I can share all the details. But I will with these guys privately later. I'm sorry, but. Similar story. I was asked to come in and audition for something, and it was, can you do this character as Gaz? So I did it, and I was like, it wasn't the take that I would have done. I had a little different take that I wanted to do. Can you do it? No, just do Gaz. Just do Gaz. And I was like, I think Gaz only works in our realm, like Gaz, as all of our characters do. You could have something similar, but it just didn't work, and I didn't get the job. And I wanted to do. I think I asked if I could do. I think I originally did a take where I did my thoughts on it, which was like a little flavor of what Gaz would be, but then a little something else too. But they said, well, can you just do it as Gaz, just for fun? And the creator was a huge fan, and she really wanted to hear Gaz as it. So, but I after the audition, I thought, no, I don't think that works. I just don't think it worked as the character. Gaz works in this world, in this world, but I wouldn't put her in other worlds. So, yeah.
Also, that one, speaking of worlds, if you guys could do a crossover episode with any other animated show, what show would it be and why?
Plague Dogs, maybe? That'd be fun, A Zim episode with Plague Dogs?
Okay, so it's crossover.
Yeah.
Crossover.
Well, it's gonna be-
Gur's hanging out with the Plague Dogs. He's made new friends,
Oh my God. But I would see it, I can't think of anything but like something so sugary, saccharine, like sweet, and then bring the Zim world into that world and let it be a complete clash.
Or just like insert Gur into Plague Dogs.
That's it.
He's just always there, when the hunter blows his head off, and you just cut to, the rifle and Gur's, just like, whoops. Plague Dogs, it's not a fun movie. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like from the 70s, 80s, 70s or 80s.
Yeah, it was, I think, the same studio that did Watership Down, I think.
Yeah, real fun.
Yeah, they were like, we weren't depressed enough with the first one. Why do we?
It's depressing. And within immediately, that one dog, because it's like a bunch of dogs that escaped from some medical, lab, and that one dog finds that he's like a nice hunter guy. He's like, oh, where'd you come from? And the dog accidentally sets the dude's shotgun off, blows the farmer's face off. I remember just being like, what is this?
On that note, you could just do a crossover with Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah. Gur's just back there.
Just back there when the children are starving.
He's having a great time, though. Gur doesn't care about how depressing shit is. Who?
Thank you. I want to get back to something you said before, John, about things living inside you from when you were younger and, hating the fact that Zim is doing the same for other people. But for each of you, what are the things from your childhood that live inside you that have kind of shaped you in whatever ways?
Xenomorph, just
Let me show you.
just like things I loved when I was a kid, or
Yeah.
oh boy. Well, I was
Buckle up.
I was a nerd. People say nerd nowadays, but nerd was like a bad thing to be in the 70s and 80s. You got destroyed by other human beings for it. So I liked a lot of science fiction, like Space 1999. I was really big into, but I also loved like the Muppets and things. And then when I was 10, I saw Time Bandits, and it changed my brain forever. I think it's one of the best movies ever made. It's still like I can still like just hear those guys' voices in my head all the time when and it just makes me happy to think about it. So.
They're always
there. just even like John Cleese's Robin Hood coming in going, oh, goodbye. What awful people.
Yeah, when that old lady comes up,
That old lady
just
gets
punches that
punched.
old lady in the head.
Excuse me, is that really necessary? What did he say? He says it is.
And they would take that one frame out, so it looked like she's getting hit even harder.
It's like she just goes down immediately.
Yeah, Time Bandits was a big one for me. Terry Gilliam stuff
Yeah.
was pretty big for me growing up. Really a lot of like horror and science fiction. Like Alien was huge for me. Like probably one of the first things that I was ever obsessed with. Like everyone, I grew up on like Star Wars and all the Spielberg stuff. I just loved anything that had creatures or puppets, the Muppets, anything that was people making, fake things come to life. But Alien, for some reason, just like the fascination with parasites and just how I thought that thing was beautiful. I was obsessed with it. I still am. Giger's especially. That design is just one of the most beautiful monsters. And yeah, like a lot of the stuff that I loved was like Time Bandits, where I said Time Bandits.
Time bandits.
Time Bandits was usually stuff that kind of stuck in my head, that because it wasn't just like a straight Disney sort of happy story. Yeah. It was stuff that left off feeling kind of gross or sad or like confusing as a kid. Like being a kid and knowing there was something wrong with what I had just seen. That's the stuff that stuck in my head, not the stuff where it like has a happy ending. But I loved all kinds of stuff. I loved Neverending Story, puppets and happiness and magic, like all that stuff. But the stuff that really, really left a mark was, stuff like Time Bandits or Alien, where like people aren't necessarily seen as like happy main character kind of people. Like Time Bandits, that kid ends up with his parents dead.
But you're happy about it.
And they abandoned him though. And like no one seems to care that he's alone.
He's got a photograph though of the map, so he can go wherever he wants.
Yeah, I guess.
I actually looked at it as a happy ending. I didn't have a good situation, but I looked at it as a happy ending because he had that photograph of the map, and now he can go anywhere in the universe he wants. So he's unstoppable now.
What about little Melissa?
Well, little Melissa grew up. I have 3 older brothers, and my dad was a drummer, and we all played musical instruments, and so we had a lot of music and and I danced and played a musical instrument and sang from when I was very, very little. So I grew up watching old movie musicals, like, Channel 5, and, on Saturday was like all the old movies. And I also, so I was obsessed with like Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire, and I was in dance class, 5 days a week, and like that was all I wanted to do. And that really shaped me, but I also came from a family that had a great love of all that old school stuff, and we all grew up either. My oldest brother's a musician. He's married to a musician. My second brothers are actors, and they married actors, and I'm married to a drummer. So, but I did.
Drummers.
I like this drummers, Jhonen. But I did love Betty Boop when I was a kid, and so it's crazy, just crazy that came around to me, and that I voiced Betty Boop for
Can you explain why her
many
head's so
years.
big?
I was just thinking about her.
Well, she was originally a dog. Betty Boop was originally.
She looks. Yeah.
She was originally a dog, and the earrings were her ears, and and the big head, and she was.
That is one of the weirdest heads in animation.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't turn; it's just always forward.
It's just it's just like
Yeah.
like one of
There's
those
no turnaround
paintings
on it.
that follows you. Yeah, so that was my obsession, and it was just a natural progression when that job happened and changed the course of my life of singing and dancing and being in front of the camera to being the voice of Betty Boop, and
was that
then
your first?
that was my very first voiceover job. So it catapulted my voiceover career and got me with great agents and just opened up everything in the world of animation for me, and so that's why it's just been such a great balance in my life as a performer, and so gratifying years later, like with Zim and even with Betty and Cowboy Bebop and a lot of those shows to come to these cons and to meet people who watched it, people who say, oh, I've been watching Zim since I was a kid and my kid watches it, or a kid coming up saying, I just watched it for the first time, or with Cowboy Bebop, oh, that was my first anime, that was like my foray into getting into anime. So it's just great to see how we can still be a part of people's lives. Bring it on to the next generation. Now all I need to do is start tap dancing for people, and then they'll complete it.
So y'all talk about how you feel the show burn. But Funko being,
I mean, not. I mean, maybe exaggerating, but
but Funko being kind of the leader in fandom, and they got a new line for y'all coming out. How do you feel about the new line and everything portraying the show? Like,
do they?
Do they have a new line coming out?
I don't.
Are they finally going to have a
I saw
Gaz?
Girls coming out in the future.
Yeah.
But they had a line already in the past as well. Like, you have made a couple of your figures into pops. So how does it, knowing that the way Funko is made is to make sure to get the fandom, they don't do anything that's a small fandom. So how does it make you feel knowing that you are part of the Funko legacy?
The Funko universe?
Yes.
The Funkoverse.
I don't know. I've never really, again, that's one of those things that I've never really given much thought. I mean, I love seeing Zim toys, because we didn't really get a lot of stuff, I definitely had that dream of, walking into Toys R Us back in the day and seeing like an aisle of Zim stuff, which that never happened. So like seeing anything, it's usually like a Gur, and occasionally you get like a Zim.
Gur works for Funko though, because he's
Gur works
shaped
really well for Funko because of his head,
They
So
never
would
did
Betty
it.
Boop.
Well, there's a ton of Betty Boops. I sign a lot of Betty Boops. I've seen, and a lot of Hello Kitties, because I did Hello Kitty for years, and a lot of Edwards from Cowboy Bebop, and I have another character, Himawari, from Boruto, but there was never one for Gaz.
Yeah, they never made
They never made a Gaz, and I think it should
Funko.
be. And so many people come up to me and say, "Why didn't they ever make a Gaz?"
I think they even made like a membrane.
There's no dib though.
There's no
There's
dib.
the dib. But yeah, Gaz I think would be great. But it's very cool. Very cool to see them.
That's the answer. We're just angry that there's no gas.
That there's no Gaz. So get that out in the world.
Yeah.
But that would be cool.
You don't have to do dib though, because Andy doesn't go to conventions.
Oh.
I wanted to
Big
throw
TV.
in one last one for me. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff in Invader Zim that was kind of unsettling, like in terms of just stuff that you guys could get away with. And this is a question for all you guys. Is there something that you're still amazed that you were able to get, like, slip under the radar to air on Nickelodeon? Because, like, Floaty's Pizza Hog is very unsettling. Like, he can still make it. He made it onto the show, but
Bloaty might be, like, when I think about it, because usually it was just like funny, like immediately like, haha, this is really funny. But like when you stop and think about it, like Bloaty's horrifying.
Yes, yes.
You know, like he's literally crying in his commercials. You know, and like that's the best take they've got. You know, so like if he's crying in the commercials, how sad is he off camera?
Oh, man.
You know,
You asked me to do the worst thing I could possibly do.
voice-wise.
Voice-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
And
when
that
I
was
did it,
bloody.
you were laughing. I got this character.
but like when he's doing Bloaty's voice, it's the sound of just someone crying hysterically. It's like like a man is breaking, you know. And that to me was really funny. Like anyone in like a funny animal suit that's sad is the funniest goddamn thing in the
Oh
world.
my gosh. You know, years ago, speaking of Bloaty, I was at a convention many years ago, and it was in Boston, so I think it was Anime Boston, and I was so excited. I hadn't gone to a lot of cons, and I was at Anime Boston, and so it was a combination of con people, and then a combination of like people in formal dresses going up and down, you know, and going to a wedding or something. And then I see, and this was years ago, I see Teddy Kennedy, right? A Kennedy on top of the escalator coming down. And I see Bloaty's Pizza Hut going on. And it was like, there's a Kennedy. Oh, and there's Bloaty's Pizza Hut.
They high-fived halfway down.
Oh, yes, I know. It just made me laugh so hard. I'll never forget that image. Like, wow, I'm seeing a politician and, Bloaty. So,
Actually,
We good?
yeah.
I'm going to interject real quick. It's up to you. There's nobody in here next.
What time is it?
It is 2:23. I've already gone over your allotted or requested time. Okay?
Okay.
It is entirely up to you whether you want to go home or
We
back
do,
to your table.
I can do just like one question from each person,
yeah,
and
one
then,
more is fine.
we're out of here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask real quickly. It is Saturday afternoon at DryCon. What has your con experience been like so far?
It's been great. It's been great, except it's really loud in
Yeah.
the lobby at night, and the whole hotel goes boom.
Yeah. Yeah, we're way up there and we still hear it.
It's loud. It's loud.
It's been busy.
But it's great,
It's you know, everyone's been really nice. All I've seen is where I'm signing. I'd love to see other things. I want to buy cool little things, but I hopefully will have the time to do that. I'll probably try and check it out after this. So yeah, it's so far it's like all my signings. I'm just sitting, and that's all I see of it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more.
I got to meet the whole McElroy family today, so I was happy. I'm a big fan of all their podcasts. So
That's cool.
yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, it's great. You know, when you go to the cons, it's so awesome, and you meet so many wonderful people and so many creative people. But it's true, like what Jhonen said, we really are. We're sitting at the tables, or we're going to an interview, or we're going to a panel, but we don't really get to see as much. So, but it's good when you get a chance to.
Okay, I'm going to stop right now because apparently there's a fire alarm going on.
No, it's all clear.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. I can't hear what you're saying.
That'll make this exciting.
I arranged that in case this was, going
It went
badly.
too long. Yeah.
All right, are we done then?
Was that it?
We good?
You got one more?
One more.
This is a little random. We asked this of all our guests that we have on our podcast. If y'all could be a Girl Scout cookie, which cookie would you be?
A what?
A Girl Scout cookie.
A Girl Scout cookie.
Girl Scout
Which would you
cookie.
be? How's the Zodiac?
What are those? Are they Thin Mints?
Yeah.
I love
Pretty good.
those. I mean, then
Is it what you love, or is
No.
it what would you be?
I mean, I just eat myself. Like I really like those.
I guess a snickerdoodle.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I can't think of them.
Lemon?
What's a Samoa?
Oh, the Samoas.
Coconut and chocolate,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
me.
Those are pretty good.
That's me. So they're round
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're.
I can say that's a dog.
Is it a
Samoyed, sorry.
Samoyed.
Sama. Yummy.
Any last one? We good?
Are we good?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching this video. I am Invader Zim, and I traffic in doom. And so, if you do not subscribe to this channel, you will have doom that befalls you by me, Invader Zim.